lucky ones have an up-close view of the most anticipated event of them all. Tonight at Paris, Las Vegas, with its fame further than anybody, now he revs up to go higher than anybody. It's the most dangerous jump he's ever attempted. Plus, he made while broken and battered on a hospital bed a year ago. Tonight, two extraordinary athletes take to the Arc de Triomphe. It is a replica of one of the most famous monuments in the world, the Arc here in Vegas. Reese's backflip. Jamie Little is right here on ground level to cover Robbie Madison. And with a view high above the strip, unlike anyone else, is Tess Sewell, who is Robbie's technical advisor, the guy who designed this course. And Tess, a lot of people are probably watching this show right now saying, I cannot believe that Robbie Madison is going to attempt to do this, jump to the top of the arc. Just how dangerous is this jump, Tess?
Well, Joe, fans of the X Games know motorcycle high jumping. It's called step up. At the X Games, the world record, what Robbie's going to do is he's going to start down at the Las Vegas Strip. He's going to ride up to a 35-foot tall ramp. He's going to jump up about 100 feet tall, and he's going to concentrate and focus because now comes the jump down. Sweet spot. So you ask, where is the Superman who's going to attempt this feat? Well, he's 10 stories below me with our very own Jamie Little.
Well, Tess, and to think that it was all Robbie Madison's idea. He thought this up. He created it. You remember 1 year ago, he etched his name in the history books with the world watching. Robbie, why do it again? Why tempt fate again?
I don't know, Jamie. You know, I've always just challenged myself, you know, from the first time I jumped on a BMX bike to last year jumping the football field. You know, it's always just been what's going to inspire me to get up early and train hard and live life to the fullest. And this is an idea that really got me excited all year, and I've been trying to hold it back, but now we're here, and I'm so excited to risk it all and go for the gnarliest jump that I've ever done.
Robbie, the last 20 minutes, you're walking up here, you're smiling, you're talking to Travis Pastrana and all the other athletes that are here. Are you really feeling as calm as you seem?
You know, the calmness has definitely come over me. It's weird because last night I couldn't sleep at all. My heart was pounding through my chest, and you know, my body definitely knows that things could go drastically wrong here, but I've been training hard, and I got all my good friends from Temecula here supporting me, some friends from Australia, so it's a special night, and I don't want to mess it up for anything.
Robbie, we look at this behind us. I talked to you last night. You said this is the first time ever you have never practiced on a jump that you're going to do. How does that feel right now?
Yeah, that's what's really rocking my shell right now, is knowing that I've never hit this jump. You know, it's whether it's
right now, rally car racer, one of the most famous motocross athletes in the world, Travis Pastrana. Good to have you with us here tonight at Paris, Las Vegas. Hey, you've crossed over into both worlds of the
national champion drifter. You know, he's a top rally car driver. These guys are experienced, top-level drivers, and he's pushing the envelope. I mean, that's what Red Bull's all about, coming out here as skilled as Robbie Madison is, and as really ballsy to be able to do such an amazing stunt. I mean, you look at the ramp.
Channel, don't turn yours. But a 2,800-pound truck, not so easy, especially when it's upwards of 45 feet above the ground. He will launch from a 30-foot ramp angled at 45 degrees, with a 75-degree kicker at the top. The kicker will push his front wheels up while flinging his back wheels around to rotate the entire truck around a center axis, like a foosball player. Reese will only be about 5 feet higher than the ramp when the truck makes its 360-degree turn. But gravity and weight will cause the vehicle to hit the ground with 200,000 pounds of force, with the back wheels and the axle taking the brunt of the landing. Reese Millen against the opponent that knocked him nearly out of his profession.
Well, Joey's backed it all the way into the starting gate. I think this is going to be it. He came by and gave me the thumbs up earlier, and that is one of the signs that he is ready to go. I feel like this is it.
There it is, the thumbs up for Reese Millen, trying to become the first to attempt a backflip in a truck. The scene from inside the truck. He was able to backflip, but as you saw, the landing, not a perfect success, as he is immediately being tended to by the crew.
And Joe, I can tell you one thing that Reese told me prior to the jump, before getting into the truck today. The truck had been set up to jump and take off. They had never landed anywhere but in the cardboard boxes. There was no rebound dampening in the truck. So what you saw was the truck landed and bounced and then tipped over again.
And what we're hoping to see here is Reese Millen emerge from this situation now. So the backflip conducted, and there he is. He made a promise to finish what he started. But as you said, Cam, you cannot practice that. You can practice into the cardboard boxes, but the unknown was what would happen when the landing had to be stuck on the dirt and the asphalt here in Vegas. And what a relief that must be for his wife, Presley. They were married on October 25th. She was through him thick and thin last year, 4 months in a double back brace. There was concern.
To come around. Let's take a look. Execution coming in. He's trying to follow the dotted line that he has on the concrete. Pops it off the top, and it looks like maybe one wheel might have hit just a little earlier. As he drops down, you can see how the off axis isn't working. Two things are working against Reese here. Let's take a look as he goes up and hits. Hard to tell from that angle, but it looks like you can see the truck is already twisting just a bit as it goes off the top of the ramp. Everything worked perfectly, it looks like, with the ramp. And let's take a look at the top. Looks like maybe he caught it just at a bit of an angle. I can't tell for sure, but the things I'm talking about being a problem as we go on board with Reese. The rotation looked perfect. The two things that he has a problem with on the landing, because the truck is not running when he lands. It's a carbureted truck. It stops running while he's upside down. If it was running, he might have had a chance to get on the throttle and try to drive out of it as the wheel hit. Also the rebound that was out, able to conquer the backflip, but not able to drive away from it. Disappointment in this New Zealander. I know he'll be back to try another day. Let's go over to Joe at Paris, where Robbie still awaiting his time to jump.
Well, the truck hits the ground, so he was able to make the backflip, but unable to land it and ride it out successfully. And he's such a perfectionist and the ultimate professional at what he does. And you heard him say to Michelle that it's nothing unless.
Infinitely tougher is going to be the drop down.
If Robbie doesn't gain enough speed in the takeoff, he will fall short of his landing ramp.
Feet down to go to the sweet spot here, and from the top of the arc you can't even see the landing. Look, that Red Bull logo, that's the landing. It's barely visible. Robbie's jumping off blind.
We are getting ready for 2009, just moments away, as we bid 2008 farewell.
Matto comes to this more prepared than ever, and what I see the difference is Matto more focused and more tuned in than I've ever seen him before.
What a showman as he wheelies down the entire length of the 200-foot run-up ramp, that in-run distance to the takeoff ramp that goes 35 feet high, 42 feet long. And now what we will see here is a few speed runs. Tess talked about that optimal speed, and he needs to get it just right. There is no room for error tonight. The bike is a Yamaha YZ250. Weighs 220 pounds, and he's hoping to take that 220 pounds and crest it at about 108 feet up in the air to get over that lip. Tess, how many speed runs do you anticipate?
Well, really, it's how Robbie feels. He may do 3, 4, or 5. You saw there, he up next to his mechanic, Buddy Morgan, took a look at what the radar gun said. He's really now feeling it too, because part of riding a motorcycle at this level is it's the noise the motorcycle makes. You know when it's going the right speed. You feel it. Robbie's trying to feel it too, but he's also wanting to check the numbers, so you'll see him make a few of these before he'll commit to the ramp.
His parents gave him his first dirt bike, and they bought him a new one every year. He's been riding since he was 4.5 years old. Jumping motorcycles, you saw all the injuries that he's dealt with through the years. In fact, he made a comeback from a broken leg suffered just in May 2007. That was before that distance jump that he pulled off on last New Year's Eve. And now, Tess, we see some communication with his team, Buddy Morgan and Dane Herron.
Well, Buddy looked pretty confident there. He looks happy. I mean, Buddy is the hardest working man in show business around here. He has to get that bike absolutely perfect. You have to think about the altitude. You have to think about how cold it is, because it all affects the miles an hour that bike will travel. But big smiles so far on Buddy and Dane's faces.
Another speed run as Robbie is trying to get it just right. Cam, we heard from Tess in terms of the optimal speed, but what about the mental preparation at this point with these speed runs? The last minute boost of confidence of knowing you have it right. How big of a factor is that?
It's a huge factor. One thing, Joe, I noticed is I saw the wheelies Robbie was riding. He actually got a nose wheelie as well. Mentally, it shows you that he's tuned in, he's feeling loose, he's feeling like he's in the zone. If he's willing to work with the motorcycle, pseudo playing around, it seems like he's more tuned in and ready to go. So if you saw him doing speed runs and he had that worried look, it would worry me, but seeing him loose and play around,
A feat that only boyish imagination could dream up, now attempted by a well-prepared man who is fully aware of its dangers. Robbie Madison is saying, this is it. To the top of the arc, he wants to go.
Joe, I have to tell you, that was an absolutely perfect landing for Robbie Madison. He nailed that one. The sweet spot we talked about, he made it look so easy.
What more is there to say? Now comes what has been said to be the hardest part. As if 10 stories skyrocketing into the air isn't enough. The free fall back down. Here it comes.
Robbie was leaning out there, he was looking down, and the weight of that motorcycle alone would terrify a normal human being. But Robbie's so confident as he goes to the edge of that 100-foot drop. He's checking the bike is in the right gear. You can see him there, pushing up and down on the shifter pedal. Here we go.
He did it! Higher than anybody has ever gone before, and successfully returns.
Robbie Madison, you are the
Robbie Madison, on his night of nights, has pulled it off. With his fiancée by his side, Amy, and Maddo has done it. 2 years in a row, New Year's Eve belongs to Robbie Madison. Tess, that
the future holds. I'm just going to keep looking towards the future and just take each day and live the life to the max, and hopefully we do something big someday.
It's a huge night for Robbie Madison. He's going to get that wrapped up. I have a feeling he's going to get out and celebrate with all the fans out there. Let's take a look now at some replays. Quite a few to look at as Robbie Madison.
The step up, 10 stories. Tess, was that exactly what you guys were looking for? Picture perfect on the way up?
Joe, I have to say it was absolutely amazing when he crested over the roof. We weren't looking at the monitor, just at where Robbie landed, and he nailed it. He could not have possibly landed that thing more perfectly than he did.
Another look as he crests about 108 feet up, dead center on the placement there. The 200 feet of the run-up ramp. The telemetry able to show you that crest, and then the free fall. Over 5 stories, well over 5 stories he went down, then to the base, 100 feet back down to the asphalt, and you saw that impact of the bike and the damage that it did to his hand, but it was able to keep control. Cam Steele, what did you think of the free fall down?
Well, when he rode off the edge, of course, all of us just frightened, unbelievable. You can see as he drops off, I think he knows right away he's a little bit long, dips the back tire down to try to grab the landing as soon as he can. A little bit long as he goes off, a little too much speed, and he does a masterful job holding the bike upright, keeping it together. It would have been so easy for him to get squirrely and throw it down, but Maddo, being as strong and tough, both mentally and physically, he is able to hold together, although cutting his hand up, who knows what the injury is, but I'm sure at that moment, all I could think about was keeping the bike upright.
We want to show you that point of view camera from PlayStation 3 because it is a dynamic replay of this. Here it is, point of view, watch this. The free fall down. And that impact that tore up the hands. Can you imagine being on that with that view straight down? Meanwhile, Reese Millen, who is so courageous with his backflip attempt, reacting to Robbie. And Reese and his wife Presley so happy for their dear friend. You know, they have a dynamic relationship. They rib each other. One from New Zealand, the Kiwi, one from Australia, the Aussie. But they have such a respect and appreciation as athletes taking on these ultimate challenges. Maddo did it tonight.